Rise, Capstone Games. Box lid, bottom of box lid. Rules. Back, front, multiple pages. Cards. More cards. Tokens that go on the tracks. Coins. Different denominations. Player pieces. Red, green, yellow, blue. Safes. Now the tracks. Track. 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 Even more tracks. Track. B-track. B. A. B. A. And you have your card track. And then if you're wanting some more, there you go. B. A. And B. And A. And B. And A. Switching out for this one. A. B. B. A. Scoring track. Box bottom. Components. So here's a very simplified rules teach of how to play Rise from Capstone Games. The game is going to follow these rounds until the one deck runs out. So at the beginning of the game, you skip the first step, otherwise typically you get income, which is shown on an income track up here. You're then going to deal out 7 cards. I've already done that. You're going to deal these 4 from one deck and these 3 from another. You will then place out your factory to one of the spots in player order. The further you go down, it costs you 1 coin, 2 coin, 3 coins. And if a player places one to the left of you, if I remember correctly, you get a refresh. After that, we are going to go from the one end down and trigger stuff. So if no one put anyone here, this just gets discarded. Everyone who's still available does this event. If anyone's here, that activates. Then the event. And then this person will activate. All these symbols pertain to all the different tracks. This would push you up one on the learning track, which is one of the tracks that I don't actually have out there. It'd be this one, and then you go up. That is the basic principles of the game, is you are moving up all these tracks to get points, to move up other tracks to get points at the end of the game, and to trigger things. These 2 tracks over here are slightly different. You move forward or back on them. And these are the only 2 tracks you cannot ignore. The rest of them you can choose not to go up on. Other nice thing about these is there's an A side and B side, so tons of variability because you randomly can choose them at the beginning or just play with the ones you really like. Like I said, after the predetermined number of rounds, most points wins.
Hello everyone and welcome to Married Meeples. I am the bride.
I am the groom.
And today we are doing a review of Rise.
So Rise is a game from Capstone Games, designed by people's names I can't pronounce. This game is all about going up different tracks, as you saw in the playthrough, taking actions to make you go up on different tracks, from this track, and so forth. So, here's our thoughts. First, as I like to do and want to do, we're going to start with the negatives. For me, a big thing with this and her is the analysis paralysis. This game definitely can bog someone down if they have analysis paralysis because, as I said, so they have to look, well, if I do this action, it's going to move me on this track. And when I move on this track, it's going to move me on that track, and then that's going to move me on that track, and then we'll be able to do this. Then they look at the next option. Well, this one, and then there's 3 steps for each one, so they're going to be walking it out in each one.
That was always my biggest thing, was I'm really bad at that, so I have to and I can't just do it all in my head. I manually literally have to point and look, and I'll do this and then do that and then go back and this. So I am literally planning out my move with my hands. And
then if you have like 4 of them to do, by the time you get to that 4th one, you may not remember what the first one was because there is so many moving parts. So I know that's one of my big drawbacks on this. Second, money seems tight in this game at times.
Extremely tight.
To get money, you usually have to take some form of negative thing, and then you have to spend turns getting out of that negative thing. Otherwise, even more bad things are going to happen to you. So trying to balance all that because you want money to try and do more actions. It's that give and take. I don't know if you really had too many issues with that. You were usually able, because you'd always go to the lower end. You would always be spending a 2 to 3 to take the longer actions.
Yeah.
She would kind of focus up at the beginning.
I tried to get as much money at the beginning as I could by kind of saving it.
So, with that being said, let's get to the good stuff because, spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure we both like this game.
Yes.
I like to say it's a track meet. It's a track race because you are moving up on so many tracks. So, if you've watched any of our previous videos with me and realizing what I like stuff that chains. This game does nothing but chain stuff together.
And that's what I like. I like having... it's kind of a double-edged sword. I like having all the different choices and being able to see, oh, well, if I go here, then I can move up here and I can do this. You're not just locked into, you move here, you change this. Or you move here, you get this. That's it. This one, there are so many options and things that you can do and manipulate and move. And I think that was one of my favorite things about this.
And as I mentioned in the playthrough, all of the tracks have an A and B side. So there's tons of replayability if you want to mess with this track and this number or letter, and this one, and do half of them on A, half of them on B. We did play the first game with A's because that's what they suggested. When we looked at the B side, I think we jumped to a majority of them B's because it just seems to be more fun, more options, more maneuverability, although I will say that is the tracks that you slow down drastically on once those happened because they do expand upon the choices.
Yeah.
Like there's the one track where you can go, then you can jump around that track, or you can go straight through and get more benefits. Or there's the track that you can push further on to come back and do more action, so it's like, well, when do I come around? But that being said, all the components are really good. The tracks are pretty easy to understand. Rulebook was a little bit long for what the game kind of is, but they also are in-depth and really kind of go into each track and if there's a difference between the A and the B. So that is kind of why it is longer. Is think almost like a worker placement game where you have to describe every single location in depth. That's what this game does, but also an A and a B side. So, well, like I said, overall, great components. It does a nice thing where it has a deck 1, deck 2, deck 3. So as the game progresses, your actions do become more powerful. Because like the A or the 1 deck, you'll be moving up 1 track. Then all of a sudden you're in the 3 deck and you're moving up 2 tracks and getting something else. So I like that ramp up. So overall, we like this game. We love tracks. We love combos.
Definitely would recommend.
As long as you don't have someone with huge analysis paralysis, and especially if it annoys you. Alright? So we are the Merry Meeples. Groom, Bride, Rise Cthulhu!